It's like, she's got that energy.
Yeah.
I've been in charge too much of my
We
life.
need a sergeant at arms.
That's what I was.
She's got that energy.
Borrow the baton from Marshall.
Oh,
Did
there
you
you
know,
go.
you know Ron Olding?
I do.
Did you know he used to be a bouncer? I remember that. He thought he was tough, but he wasn't. He was a bouncer for my brother when he had the tavern down on the avenue. Well, he was a little bit of a brawler. Cause
Yeah.
my buddy at West Side and Ronnie Alting at Jet used to get into it whenever they play basketball. They're both the same age. And my buddy Smitty would be out there, and if he had a good streak, they put Ronnie in just a mess.
Just a mess up. Oh, my God.
Little bit of creative fouling.
Kind of like a
Go on.
hockey check.
A little hockey check.
Are we recording? We are. Oh, I'm sorry.
So, Mr. Acting President, if you wouldn't mind calling the meeting to order.
Yep. So I guess we're gonna get started. Everybody's here except for Jim. Yeah, so do we want to discuss the utility service agreement first, or are you gonna go over the?
Yeah, that's probably combined together,
Okay.
would probably be best, but maybe I'll lay the groundwork and then these folks are gonna fill in more of the details. The purpose of tonight's special meeting is to put the town in position to make a firm offer to the UMH folks. And we have had conversation with them. You've heard about those conversations. I won't get into too much of that. I don't believe that we have the $640,000 agreement secured yet. We might follow up like tomorrow and just see if they've done that, because if that can be separated from this, so much the better.
Yeah, we had sent that to UMH and they had responded, they were gonna try to meet up early this week.
Oh, good.
Get that final.
And that's great. And I don't think there's any issues on that. But so that's phase one, 640,000 cash up front. We all understand that. Phase two has been back and forth, as has phase three. And my belief is always that you give an offer based on math, based on engineering, based on the facts. And I think that's what I'm gonna ask these folks to talk about, because essentially what we're saying is, guys, we need a new treatment plant, and you're part of it because you use half of it. And you use almost half of the whole darn shooting match, not just your $640,000 little phase one, but you got a lot more than that. And so trying to say to them, we are offering you a fair offer because we're asking you to contribute cash for the percentage of the total cost, and that percentage of the total cost is based upon your usage. So at least to me, in my simple lawyer math brain, that's the way you gotta pitch it, because that's what's fair. Now, where it becomes a little bit more a question is, when do they pay it? How much do they pay in phase two? And I think that's why I'm glad you're here and you've done a nice job helping us understand that. So you have before you a battleground development agreement, or excuse me, it's a utility service agreement. I'm not going to ask you to approve the whole thing tonight, because I don't think you need to. And the reason I don't think you need to is because we got numbers to talk to, we got offers to make and offers to be accepted. Until those offers are accepted, this is not job one, in my view. I don't think this will be difficult to get once we got the numbers done. I believe, do we have anybody online? Not that we know of. I believe that this number will be a little bit of a shock to them in the way we're going to present it, which is fine. They need to participate. I'm not worried about that. I want everybody here to know that I think it's going to take a little bit of this back and forth, just business negotiation. Nothing mysterious about it. We'll see where it ends up. So with that, I would suggest maybe we talk about the numbers and why we landed on the numbers that we landed on to try and maximize the amount of cash up front.
Sure. So do you want us to start with the rehashing how the percentage breakdowns got figured out, or let's step in and start with?
I think that's a good start, yeah.
So originally, when we had gone through this exercise, what we were trying to extract was what percentage of the total design flow rate was attributed to U of H. And from that point, we could then come up with what their relative impact, what their relative role was in each of the phases. So as you know, phase one, that's just replacing the pumps at Woods Edge. They only serve Woods Edge. UMH is 100% of the flow coming in phase one. Phase two is that regional lift station on 600. That's to serve Woods Edge, and that's to serve any potential development on those sites between 600 and 650. UMH would be projected to be about 60% of that total potential flow at full build out. Now, in the interim, until development happens there, they are 100% of flow that happens at that lift station. So keep that 60 and 100 in mind as we go forward. Phase three, that's the Northgate Regional Lift Station, Woods Edge and County Road 600 lift station pump to that. It serves everything around 43. If that builds out how we're projecting it is, based on feedback from developers and land use there, UMH would be about 40% of the flow coming into that lift station.
That's
So that's-
full build out.
At full build out, at full build out. Now, what they are in the interim until full build out happens, we can summarize that. I actually don't have that in front of me right here. But that's where that scenario one of 100% of phase one, 60% of phase two, and 40% of phase three came out. So that's strictly based on flow at full build out. And then we started.
Yeah, and then we started discussing, okay. That's how we came to a number that said that this is the amount that UHM is going to need to contribute.
You,
And then we needed to decide what. The method of contribution and timing would be best for the town. So. The idea here is phase two would occur first, phase two. And UHM would pay 100% of those costs. We're trying to push as much of their costs up front as possible. However, then in lieu of the town or the town receiving them paying 40% for phase three, that amount's going to shrink down to about 5%. Because the idea of here in phase three, that's where the greater growth's going to occur quicker. That's where more of the known growth's going to occur. So then from the perspective of the town going out with this phase three financing to finance this project, we can try to time this along with the growth. You can also take advantage of some bond anticipation note to kind of push out your debt service. So you won't start paying long-term obligation really until the growth would occur. So that's why the idea was, let's have them pay 100% in phase two, so we can get that built out, done. Town doesn't have to go through any financing, anything like that, until you're really ready to go in phase three.
And they are 100% now.
And that too, yeah,
If
they're
there's
also
a-
100%
A
now.
little piece of the puzzle I really didn't appreciate until this minute. And
Yeah,
that's a big sales point.
and correct me if I'm wrong, phase two is where there's land for development, but you don't really have a known developer, you don't have any, it is just good location where you think development could occur. So that's the more. From what I've heard, it sounds like more of a question mark of when and if. Than where zone three sounds like, or phase three sounds like that area. It's the chicken or the egg. As soon as sewer's there, it's a pretty strong belief that there's the hotels and so forth come.
Could you talk about cost recovery? Because part of this unit, this service agreement is a long-term carrot for them to be able to receive back some of their principal, but they're gonna throw into this at the front to get back some of their cash over time.
Mhm.
Could you guys talk about how that system works?
Yeah, for phase two, there would be, let's just say a subdivision comes in and builds on 10 acres, there would be a per acre fee that they would pay to the town. At the time of getting that sewer tap or that sewer design construction approval on that per acre basis, and then that will be money that UMH could be paid back for their fronting, as Robert said, of all of phase two, because that's tributary inside that phase two service area, which would then reduce them from being 100% to something less than that as that new development occurs. I don't think we were starting to get into the maybe phase three kind of concept of that, but there's existing flows in phase three, and we would have to analyze and get more complicated on the prorational share. But in his analysis, there really isn't any additional money they're fronting in phase three with this current approach.
And we talked about the last time, this subcommittee met about trying to get some handle on what it might be that we could say, look, it is, we're not guaranteeing you folks anything, UMH. However, if development goes through as we think, then it is likely that within the next, I'm picking numbers here, next 5 years, you will be repaid X dollars. Is that something that we ought to be doing, or is there any sense of that, what we might be able to say to them? Not just based on how many acres are gonna go in the next 5 years, next 10 years, whatever. What's our guesstimate of that? Cause you then multiply that by, is it 37? It's in here.
I've actually, since we had that meeting the other week, we have gone through and updated the cost recovery fee estimates based on some feedback on how those are divvied up. So I just have it.
But it's about 30,
That's closer to 5,000.
oh, it's about close to $5,000 an acre. Do we have any estimates on that?
Timing?
No, estimates on how much they might expect to receive back. Again, I'm looking for carrots.
Yeah, we can give you that.
All right.
I think it was our understanding that largely development that would happen in the phase 2 service area. Since they're fronting 100% of that. Am I,
That's 2 million.
yeah, am I wrong that up to that, and then,
Then you have to 2 million
so
Potentially up to 2 million.
40% of that.
Yeah.
For them
for phase 2.
to get back.
Mhm.
So in what period of time? That's what's,
That's what we did.
yeah, it's hard to say, but
How
if
fast
they
it
could-
go.
I mean, the argument is, look, guys, yes, you're paying up front, but when there's development, you're gonna get it per acre. 10 acres go, you're gonna get 50 grand. Approximately. And when the next 10 go, you get another 50 grand. We can't guarantee that, but we know there's development, or we wouldn't be messing with this. And they know there's development, because they wanna have, you know, more housing.
Do you ever see a sunset on that, like up until 15 years?
I think it's a 10-year.
I think IRC requires a 10-year sunset.
Yeah,
I think that's
used to
bad.
be any time, but now it's,
Yeah, that happened.
you
a
only
couple-
get 10.
So-
That happened a couple of years back. The developers pushed for
So if
that.
a developer comes in at year 15, sorry, nothing for
Right.
UMH, okay.
Are you guys, are we using their phase 2 also on their park? I mean, they're
Yeah.
gonna put a phase 2 in.
Oh, yeah, they're gonna expand.
Their second.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're gonna expand.
they're gonna expand theirs. I don't know what phase it technically is, but yeah, I think they've got plans to build another,
78 houses,
like this year.
178 lots, like that was the number somewhere in there.
Yeah, it's.
They had
in the
hundred and
very near
seventy-six
future.
additional lots, and I thought they were putting in another, like,
So would they pay a cost recovery fee for that?
Not on what's already been platted. If they buy new ground and develop
They gotta
that,
do a little sneaky
that
thing.
would be.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Because we're counting what they've already got approval to build.
That's like, that land will be part of the 7%, correct? Where they're building out,
yeah, the 60.
or the 60%, I'm sorry, yeah.
So I think they have like 147 acres that is currently platted or whatever. And they may own a little more land than that, but it's not subdivided anything for their lots either.
Robert, I think what you ended up saying, we met last week, was that the current plan, if they pays out 100% of phase 1, 100% of phase 2, they only come out just shy of what they would have paid if they were to go 150-30.
Yes, yeah. So this was set up to be the way with the 100%, just around 5%, what was calculated out was to be identical to what it would have been if you were to spread out. You're really just trying to get the money up front and pushing their contribution to phase 2 instead of phase 3.
And so and I know that this was something that concerned you, George, that you brought up over the year or whatever, we've been talking about it. As far as the timing of it and rate increases or avoiding rate increases. And I think that's what this accomplishes, correct? That we would not need a rate increase for this purpose at all.
Yeah, that's the whole point, trying to avoid it. That we can't guarantee for phase 3 that there will never be a
It's way
rate
down the
increase.
road.
But this allows the town, it allows you to kind of push that down the road. That gives you more time to plan. It gives you more time to kind of feel like with SCA 1 and everything going on to see how that dust settles. So it does help you just from a planning purpose, because if you would have to pay for 40% of phase 2, you would have to do a rate increase. How much of that could you push on UHN? That's still, that would be a calculation I would still need to do. We're working with that within our rate setting. We're doing a cost of service component, but there would have to be a rate increase someplace. You wouldn't have the revenues currently to pay for that.
I think that is an important feature of this.
Right. Well, and I knew that we were gonna inch up if we had a 3-year rate plan. And we needed 22% over current. By 3 years from now, that we would inch up and meet that and be there before it looked like. We were gonna need it.
And remind me, the last rate increase just finished,
No, it was a year ago.
a year ago, finished a incremental kind of cost of living sort of. Which you're thinking is another possibility, given the fact we got inflation
Right,
more than we used to.
wages more than anything.
So I think the group, in terms of getting the ball moving forward. Would be to have a motion to approve, if you could go ahead and recite it, phase 1.
Sure.
Just recite it for the record. Do you have that in writing that you could just give to Georgia? Which plan would it be? You've got your different plans.
Oh, I did not bring a copy of that, I just brought a copy of the.
Yeah, let's just get it in writing for.
I apologize.
No, that's all right.
I was planning on passing that
I
out.
got them around here.
It's
the one Yeah. on
top, right?
Oh, wait a minute, is that the one?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
what he gave me is the one.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, those were just rate impacts.
That's rate.
Yeah.
We're looking here. That was attached. I may have a copy.
I can.
Yeah, right here, section 5.
I'm looking at your various scenarios that you had was the last one on the sheet, right? Am I thinking right?
Yeah, I know exactly
Yeah,
what you're looking for.
All right, I just want to make sure, and you could recite it and we could write it down, but you got it in writing. Here, I've got a. This is an email scenario 4, phase 1, 100%, phase 2, 100%, phase 3, 4.95%.
Yep,
Is that it?
that is it. So yeah, my recommendation would be a scenario 4, which would be phase 1 is 100% paid by UHM. Phase 2.
UMH?
Or UHM, I can say U. It's UMH.
You want copy?
I've been saying UHM for forever. See, till someone corrects you, you never fix yourself.
I'll try and correct it.
Appreciate it. Would be UMH pays 100% of phase 1, 100% of phase 2, and 4.95% of phase 3. The idea with the scenario 4 is that it matches the total cost that they would have to pay, that if we did the flow breakdown, which was 100% of phase 1, 60% of phase 2, and 40% of phase 3. We're just trying to move the cost so the town can recover, or so the town can hold off on any financing that they have to do until a later date, so then they can try to match it with other growth and try to hold off on any rate increases on the other ratepayers within the town.
So if we could have a motion for phase 1, 2, and 3, as he explained, and then more discussion, motion second, any other discussion, then a vote.
Do we have a vote? Do we have a
I'd like
motion?
to make a motion to accept the agreement for phase 1 at 100%, phase 2 at 100%, and phase 3 at 4.95. Is that what you said?
Yes.
I'm doing okay.
There you
Thanks. Oh, go ahead.
No, you got it.
Oh,
man.
Okay, motion by Mary Jo, second by Steve. Any
So-
discussion?
Yeah, the only other thing I wanted to point out is, I think it's important that we say, this is what the council is offering.
Yes.
Period, basically, now, we'll see how that works, but you know.
My question, I mean, obviously, they're gonna probably rebut against this and come
Yeah.
back and want to negotiate this, so I mean,
Sure.
we as a council have to be prepared to counter that and,
Right.
you know, what's anybody thinking? What's anybody's pleasure with this? I mean, from that standpoint, cause I'm gonna say they're probably gonna say no.
Well, I don't want us to, in a public meeting, even though nobody's.
Yes,
I don't wanna say, oh, and then our backup position is.
I agree.
Mm,
Don't show the cards.
That's all we got.
Yeah.
That's all the council's going, and it is not a unanimous vote necessarily, so if you want, you know, to get your future secured, I don't know what it would cost them to build their own plant.
Oh,
Pick a number, go ahead.
Come on, Dave.
Pick a number and tell me what it is.
They won't get a permit for that.
They won't get a permit, it would be Is it more than $5 million? I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do they have an option? Well, they have an option to push back and I can say, this is all they've authorized. Did not get a unanimous vote, which is actually kind of sort of true at the moment.
Yeah,
But you know what I'm saying, is we will have to go back to the council.
They
to
couldn't
get
get
a
a permit.
to get any approval. And if they said, well, just knock off the 4.95, I would say, oh, I don't know, that's a tough sell, but I'll recommend it.
Let's say we'll knock it off, we'll go to 5 point.
That's a negotiator there.
yeah, right.
Go to 5 point.
So we don't know where we're gonna be, but here's where we are, and I think it's important, we just say this is what it is, and the council's gonna have to approve the agreement and.
Okay,
So we'd have to get the money up front so we know how much we're gonna get a loan for.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, and the other thing that we had talked about in the past that hasn't been discussed lately is if there is pushback and we miss this window with Bowen to move ahead, then we had talked about asking them to take on a responsibility for managing the old system that's in the ground that we're trying to get replaced. Yeah, if we can't move forward to get that new main in and abandon the old one, are they going to sign an agreement to be responsible for the repairs and the maintenance on that old line while we try to sort out what other arrangements that we can make that would be suitable to them? Because,
It'd be a tough sell with them.
well, it is, but it's where we're at. If we can't move forward with this and we miss this window with the build, operate, transfer project, the public-private partnership, if that falls away because they're unwilling to participate for the part that's theirs, what else can we do?
we've got one house on Jewett Street that can't get utilities. What are they gonna do if they have a whole trailer park full? Just saying.
Yeah. About a shitty mess.
Yeah. Right. Okay,
Okay.
so do we vote on
I
it?
believe so. All in favor?
Aye.
Well, that's great. What else do we need to do, folks? Or any other business? Again, I don't see any point in saying yay or nay to the agreement itself. We'll come back to you in final form and you'll, look at it and see it in exact form.
Sounds
Be able
good.
to approve it.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
Like,
I beat you, didn't
yeah.
Yeah.
Slow on the uptake.
Thank you.
We made it.
That's awesome.
Jordan. Did you send everyone the rate and tax estimate? Or did-
We did.
Okay, so you guys all have the rate and tax. The one thing, that is worst case scenarios. I just want to make sure that's known.
Yeah.
I thought to vote on this tonight, one question that council you guys may have is, what's the impact in phase 3 of what we may be taking on?